Hi everyone, this video is about Computer Science Standard 12th, Chapter 1 Functions Part 1. Now let us see the table of contents, that is the chapters given in our textbook. We have 5 units. The first unit is about problem solving technique, and here we have 4 chapters. First one chapter is function, second one is data abstraction, then scoping and algorithmic strategies. And second unit and third unit is about Python, the same concepts that we have studied in 11th standard C++, right? Then in unit 4 we are going to study the database concepts and MySQL. And is in MySQL we are going to create database, then table, and then connecting this table with Python. And also in chapter 13 we are going to study CSV files. And unit 5 is about integrating Python with MySQL and C++. That is in chapter 14 we are going to study how to run C++ program in Python without opening C++. In chapter 15 we are going to create database table and connect this table with the Python without opening MySQL. And then in the last chapter, that is in chapter 16, we are going to study how to create charts in Python using a module called PyPlot. Now let us move on to the chapter 1 functions. Before we go into chapter, we can have a short recap of functions that we have studied in 11th standard. What is a function? It is a sequence of commands that can be reused later in a program any number of times. Here I have a function sine with different input values. Here 0 is the input, here 90 is the input, here 30 is the output. So the function can be called any number of times using different inputs. Based on the input value, it will give the output value, and function can return only one value. This is the important thing to remember. A function can return only one value. And here we have one program also using function in C++. Here we have a function called display. This is the whenever you think about function, we need to remember two things: function definition and function calling. What is meant by function definition? Here this is the function definition. The statements that is used to define are the statements that define the function. Here we have only one statement to define the function display. And here you see in the sine function we have one input. Here 0, here 90 and here 30. And here we don't have any input values. That is, no parameter is given here. Right? And a function can return only one value. The output of a function will be only one. Here the output of the function is it has to print first C++ program with function. And we can call that function any number of times. Okay, and in main function we are calling the function display. And how can you differentiate this function definition and function calling? Here in function definition we can see a return type, name of the function, and at the end there is no semicolon. Instead it follows braces, and within the braces the statements that needs to define the function has to be included. And in the function calling we are calling just the function name, no return type, and if any input is given in the definition we can give the input values here and followed by semicolon. Okay. So function definition, function calling. Once if we define a function, we can call that function any number of times within the function. So we have defined the function display in this program, so we can call this display function in this program any number of times, but we cannot call this display function in some other program, right? Now let us see the learning objectives of this chapter. The first one is function specification, that is detailed explanation of function and what is meant by parameter and arguments, what's the difference between parameter and arguments. That is, while defining the function, the input values are called as parameters. While calling the function, the input values are called as arguments. That also we are going to discuss. And then interface and implementation. What is interface? What is implementation? How we are using that in our day-to-day life. Then a classification of functions as pure function and impure functions. Now let us start with the chapter. First, let us have an introduction about algorithm. What is an algorithm? We all know what it is, a step-by-step procedure to solve a problem. Okay, that is, before writing a program, we need to write an algorithm. And also we know that there are so many solutions to solve a problem. The problem may be a bigger one or smaller one, but there will be more than one solutions to solve a problem. So before writing a program, we need to write the algorithm, and the best algorithm will be chosen to write a program. So while selecting the algorithm, some criteria are needed. The most important criteria in selecting the algorithm is the time. See, the most important criteria in writing and evaluating the algorithm is the time it takes to complete a task. That is, the time should be as less as possible. And also, the duration of computation time must be independent of the programming language, compiler, and the computer used. And now we are coming into the lesson topic, function. This function is also called as subroutine. Both are same. Okay. So what is meant by function or what is meant by subroutine? If a bulk of statements to be repeated for many number of times, then subroutines are used to finish the task. What is the purpose of using function? If certain statements are to be repeated more than one time. So we can write these statements in a function, and we can write the definition for the function, and we can call that function any number of times. So if more number of statements are to be repeated, we can use the function. And these subroutines are the basic building blocks of the computer programs. If you are writing a program without function, it will become a lengthier program, and debugging or correcting the errors will be a tedious one. Then they are the small sections of code that are used to perform a particular task that can be used repeatedly. Then in programming languages, these subroutines are called as the functions. So both are same. Then what is a function with respect to programming language? See this example, the program. We have a class called sample, and just recollect what you have studied in C++. Class. Inside the class, we have a function called add of int a comma int b. This is just I have given a snippet, not a full program. So add is the function name, here a and b, and this is a function. This is the function definition. How do you identify that it is a function definition? Actually, there is no semicolon at the end, and it is followed by a pair of braces. So definitely it is a function definition. So in the function definition, we have two input values a and b. Here this a and b are called as the parameters. So in the function definition, these input values are called as the parameters. And in the function definition, we need to give this a and b with data type. It is in C++. In Python, it is somewhat different. Okay, so here this a and b are called as the parameters. And then in main function, since it is a class program, we are creating an object x, s, then x and y values we have, and we are calling the function with the help of this object s dot add of 5, 10. So we are calling the functions with the input values 5 and 10. In the function definition, we have two input values. So in calling also, we need to call with two input values. And here this 5 and 10 are called as the arguments. Right? Here 5, 10 are called as the arguments. Here no need to specify, that is, we should not specify the data type. Again we are calling the same function s dot add of x comma y. In the first, we have 5 and 10. These are just values or constants. Here x and y are variables. Here s dot add of x comma x plus y. The first input x is a variable, and the second input x plus y is the expression. Right? But in function definition, we should be only in the form of variable. The function definition the input should be only in the form of variable. But while calling the function, the input may be either in the form of values, or in the form of variable, or in the form of expression. You know the output of this program also. Okay, so 5, 10 means it will return 15. x comma y, they are variables, so it takes the values of 1 for x and 4 for y, and then this will consider as x, that is 1, and x plus y means 5, and we will get the output. You know the output also. So the important thing here is in function definition the input is called as the parameter, but in function calling they are called as the arguments. Both are same, but the terms are different. In function definition we need to use the term parameter, but in function calling we need to use the term arguments. Okay, and in function definition we can give the input only in the form of variable, but in function calling we can give the input in the form of constants, values, or expressions. Okay, now we can see the definition. What is a function? A function is a unit of code that is often defined within a greater code structure. Okay, so the definition is written within a greater code structure. That is, we have a class, it is a greater code structure. Within that class we are writing the smaller section called the function add. And then specifically a function contains a set of code that works on many kinds of inputs. So that works means the function calling. Okay, when the function works, while calling the function it works. Okay. Different kinds of inputs like variance, that is variables, expressions, and produces a concrete real output. Okay, so after working with the input it will give a constant output, it will give a concrete output, it will give the real output, right? Then function specification. See this example program. We have a function called add. This is the function definition. We have two input values a and b. Now you know a and b are parameters or arguments, they are the parameters. Okay, and here we have a statement return a plus b, and in main function we are calling the function add of 5 comma 10. So what will happen? And one more thing in function is the function definition always remains static. It will not do anything, it will be idle. Only if we call the function it works, otherwise it will be lazy, it will be idle. Okay, so this function definition, even though we are writing the function definition first, the compiler will not execute this line. The compiler starts its execution only from the main function, right? So while calling the function only, it will go to the definition part and execute. So add of 5 comma 10. So 5 will go for a and this 10 will go for b, and return a plus b means 5 plus 10, 15 will be returned. C out x means 15 will be the output. Okay, and in function specification two different terms are given, function definition and expression. So here this is the function definition, you know. Inside the function definition we have the expression a plus b. So in this program this is the function definition. Inside the function definition we have the expression a plus b. So what is given is function definitions have expressions, but we cannot say definition and expressions are same. We cannot say that definitions and expressions are same, but function definition has expressions in it. Now we come to calling part. X equals add of 5 comma 10. This is called as an expression. What is expression? A plus b, it is an expression. So that is more than one variable or values along with operator, it is called as an expression. So equal is an operator, x is a variable, and this is a function, so this is an expression. Inside this definition, in this definition we have the function definition add of 5 comma 10. So we can say it as this expression has definition in it. We cannot say expression and definitions are same. So when you come to this part, we can say this expression has the function definition. When you come to this part, we can say the definition has expression. So what is given here is function definition and expressions are not same. Function definition has expression in it, expression has function definition in it. That's all. Okay, now let us read. One example is given in the textbook. A equals 24. Okay, in pseudocode algorithm we can use for this symbol colon equal to. In programming language we are using only equal symbol, but in pseudocode algorithm we can use this colon equals. Here a equals 24 has an expression in it, but it is not itself an expression. We cannot call the function definition as expression, but definition has expressed. So it is actually a function definitions. What is the use of definition? Definitions bind values to the names. That is, it will give a concrete output. So in this case, 24 being bound to the name A. And again, definitions are not expressions. At the same time, expressions are also not treated as definitions. They are different. Expression has definition has function. That's all. And definitions are distinct syntactic blocks. That is a different block. It is a different block. It is written based on the syntax of the particular programming language. And definitions have expressions nested inside them and vice versa. Next, what are parameters and arguments? I have already explained you what is parameters and arguments. So parameters are the variables. Parameters will be only in the form of variables in the function definition, and arguments are the values which are passed to the function definition through calling. Right? See, one function we have square of int x. It has only one parameter. This is the function definition. So x is called as the parameter. So parameter will be only in the form of variable. So while writing the definition for parameter, we have to give the term variables. That is given in the function definition. What is an argument? Here we are calling square of a. So a is the variable and 5 is the value. Even though you are providing in the form of variable, while passing this, only the value of a, that is 3, will be passed to the parameter. So argument will be only in the form of value. Even though we are passing in terms of variable, only value will be passed. Square of a, the value of a is 3, so only 3 will be passed to x. So arguments are only the values which are passed to function definition. The same program is written with the Python also. Then parameter can be written without type and with type also. Okay. So while writing the pseudocode, there are certain rules. So first we have to give the precondition. What is the condition? That is this function. So the function should start with the keyword let. If it is a recursive function, it will start with the keyword let rec. Since it is a recursive function, let rec keyword used. Then POW, it is the name of the function. Then A and B, they are the parameters. This is function definition. Okay, in programming language, in C++ programming language, the definition, that is the name of the function followed by parenthesis. But in pseudocode, it is given as colon equals. So this is the function definition. The name of the function is POW. Since it is a recursive function, it is given with the keyword let rec. And there are two parameters A and B, and no data type is specified. So it is given as parameter without type, that is without data type. And before writing the pseudocode for the function, we need to specify two things. First one is the precondition, second one is the postcondition. Precondition is given with the keyword request, and postcondition is given with the keyword returns. Precondition, what is the precondition given? A greater than or equal to 0. Actually, this program is to find the power, and this function will execute only, that is a power b. So this power value, that is only if b is greater than or equal to 0, this function will be executed, right? And returns. What is the output? The output will be a to the power of b. Then the statement is given. If b equals 0, then it will return 1. Otherwise, it will execute a into power of a comma b minus 1. Okay. Here request is considered as precondition, and postcondition is given with the word returns. Here no data type is mentioned. Okay. In C++ language, data type has to be mentioned, but in Python, data type need not to be mentioned. That is, some language compiler solves this type inference problem algorithmically, but some require the type to be mentioned. The Python language is more smarter than C++. So no data type is mentioned. If I give the value of b as 0, it will take the data type as integer. If I give the b value as 1.5, it will take the data type as float. Python is more smarter. That interpreter is smarter than the C++ compiler. But in C++ we need to specify the data type. But in Python no data type has to be specified. Then second one is the parameter with data type. Here also same recurs. Only if this condition is satisfied, this function will return. Then returns. What is the output of this program or function? A to the power of b. And this starts with the keyword let rec. The function name is POW and a and b are integers. Mostly power value means integer. So we are giving a and b with the data type. How the data type is needs to be specified? Followed by colon and the data type. And second also b followed by colon and the data type. And its return value also will be in the form of integer. So colon int and colon equals. It's equivalent to braces in C++ program. So if b is equal 0, that is anything a to the power b. Anything to the power of 0 will be 1. So if b is 0 means 1. Otherwise it will execute this one. Okay. So when we write the type annotations, type annotation means when we specify the data type, for a and b the parentheses are mandatory, that is compulsory. When you are specifying with the data type, this parenthesis is must. Okay. When we do not specify the data type, parenthesis is not compulsory. Then syntax for function. Whenever you are writing the syntax, that is we should not memorize the function. You have to take an example and then read the example in general form. It will become the syntax. Okay. So this is an example. Let rec is the keyword. F it is the function name. A1, A2 up to AN. Any number of inputs can have. And then in pseudocode we are not including the parentheses braces. Instead colon equals. Then K. In general it is the definition. That is actual statements that form the definition. So in simple it is given as K. So in general we can write this. So the function definition is introduced by the keyword let in pseudocode, not in the programming language. And it should be followed by the after let. Since it is a recursive function, the keyword is let rec. It is followed by the function name, that is F1. So it is followed by the name of the function, followed by its arguments or parameters. Then the formula that computes the image of the argument is written after and colon equal to sign. So after colon equal to sign, the statements that follows that is needed to write the definition will be given. And if you want to define a recursive function, use let rec instead of let. Then syntax for function types. Okay. So as I have told you earlier, a function can have any number of inputs or without inputs. But it should return only one value. The output will be only one. It should be a concrete real output, but it should be only one output. Okay. So here one input and one output. Here two inputs, but the output will be only one. And here x1, x2, x3 till n. It takes n number of input, but output will be only y. Okay. And remaining part we can see in the next video. Thank you.